Hello, welcome to my channel and welcome to my website. My name is Daryl and this is Programming in Any Language. The website is www.black-duck.com. It's where you'll find all my videos organized in logical order. Well, this one's really simple. Finding the highest value in an array and finding the lowest value in an array are almost identical. What you're basically doing is setting up a single variable to be the highest value. Then you place the value of the first element in the array into that variable. Initially, this is considered the high value. Next, using a loop, you move your pointer to the next element in the array. If the value is higher, you replace the contents of the high variable with the new value. If it's not larger, you just skip it. The loop continues, and you make the comparison with each element in the array. When you're all done, the value in the variable is the true highest value in the array. Finding the lowest value works the same way, except you are looking for a value lower than the one in the comparison variable. You can see this process playing out behind me in the spreadsheet mockup of our cash sales file and our array. Mockup variables for high and low values can be seen in the upper right hand corner just under record count. As the pointer, x, steps through the array, comparisons are made. The variable gets changed whenever a comparison finds a higher value or a lower value depending on what you're looking for. The end result is that both the high value and the low value in the array are found with one pass each through the array. The following is a short video showing you how to code this. Okay, we're going to extend that sales analysis, the total sales program, and build in a little bit of analysis on it, and look at how to find low and high values in an array. And we'll simply add this onto the last program we were working on in the last video. And as you can see on the screen right now, I've got the I just added a sentence to it where we're going to add the high and low values to the array. And you can see on the right side of your screen, basically the highest values and low values are actually showing. It pulled from the cash sales file that we loaded into the array and ran. Well, how are we going to do all this? You can see our form looks the same as it did before. There's no difference. We're not going to change the form at all. We're simply going to add things to the form load piece. We still have an array that's going to be 100 long. We're going to initialize the zeros. We're going to read from the array, adding to the file, and then sum the numbers and get an average on those things right away. And that total sales file will look just like this. No difference. But finding the highest value in an array is easy. It just may seem complicated at first when you first start working with arrays. You create a variable basically to hold to find the highest element. You do the same thing with the lowest too. We'll do this with the highest first though. You create a variable that's going to be holding the highest value. And we take that first element in the array and assume that's the highest value. And then we use a loop to step through all the rest of them and compare them one at a time. And if we find any value that is higher than that one we have sitting in the highest variable, we swap it out. We put the new highest value in there. So essentially, when we're finished going through the entire loop, we end up with the highest value inside the variable. And when the loop's finished, the highest value is found. We do the same thing with the lowest value. You can look at kind of a simple explanation right here. We're looking at an array index 0 through 4 here, and we loaded numbers 8, 1, 12, 6, and 2 in there. We'd simply put the 8 in the high number first, then we'd truck through this thing and say, okay, is element 1 higher than 8? No, it's not. Is element 12 higher than this? Yes, it is. So we put 12 in here. Is 6? No. Is 2? No. So we'd be done. We're done, and we know that 12 is the highest. We then take the low number, we put 8 in the low number, and we check to see is 1 lower? Yes, it is. So we put the 1 in there. Is 12 lower? No. 6 lower? No. Is 2 lower than 1? No, it's not. So we'd end up with the 1 sitting in here. That's just how easy it is. The coding looks something like this. Here's that int array called numbers, and we have those 8, 1, 12, 6, 2 in there. You actually set that highest variable right here and put in the first value. And then you write that loop to go through the rest of them. Same thing with finding the lowest value. Same thing here. We put the lowest value in there, and we go through and look for comparing it to see if it's lower than the one we've seen before. We can look at our sales analysis program. We looked at this last time where we ended up reading our cash sales numbers. We ended up summing them, first of all bringing them to the array and then summing them. And then we end up summing them using this formula right here. And when we're done, we simply can create two more methods that are simply going to go through this thing 2 more times. One's for high values, one's for low values. We end up putting 100 in here, and then we go through there looking for if any value is higher than 100. As you can see, we actually did that process. We got the number 5 here, and 1214 got put in there, and nothing got put in there after that thing. So when it was all done, our high value was 1214.55. We then put 100.1 inside the low value, and again compared it. And as you can see, number 7 was 198, and that became the lowest value we actually found. It sat in there. So we could look at these two variables, and they would give us that total. We use the same formula, same program we used before. We basically read the array, and we basically add the min and max methods to that form load that we've done before. So again, we still have a program with no buttons other than the exit button that goes through this process and finds these totals for us. Let's take a look at this. Here's our program that we left off last time. It still says test total and average on here, and that's fine. We'll just leave it like that. We could certainly say analysis as well, but whatever. And it's got our file here. We want to actually go in here and just add these pieces to our form load. So we can actually go into our code and jump in and move to the form load area. Here it is right here. And the last thing we did was calculate the total array, cache arrays, and we ended up creating that average is down here. We're now going to add 2 more method calls into this particular thing. And the first one's going to be basically, we'll just type it in, find and display low value. And we'll pass it DBL cache sales again and int record count. Very straightforward and simple. Find and display low value. We then create that method right down here, and we simply say private void find and display low value. And we accept a double array that we can call anything. Simply say DBL array. It's going to get the cache sales array in there. And we're also going to have a variable int count. And braces here and create that routine, which gets rid of our error up on line 35 here. We now have this actual loop. So the first thing we do is we have to set up a double and call it DBL low value. This will establish the low value variable. When we're done, this will contain the lowest value in the array. We're also going to say DBL low value is equal to, not 0, but our DBL array, 0. This gives it that first value. Set low value to first element. Then we do our loop. For int I equals 1, I is less than int record count, int count actually, and we're going to increase I. Set up our braces and put an if statement in here. If DBL array I is less than DBL low value, then DBL low value is going to be equal to DBL array value. DBL low value is equal to DBL array I. Perfect. That's exactly what we want here. Worked a lot nicer. I do want to put in my, I do have to go past this thing, and I'll put in my comment over here. And this will be replaced with newest low value. And I did want to put a comment on the if statement piece right here real quickly, which is going to be compare element to current low value. And it looks like we're done, with the exception that we need to actually go ahead and list this thing now, since we're done. LBX summary dot items dot add is going to be lowest value and concatenate DBL low value to string and put in our currency. I need a parentheses in here, DBL lowest, low value. I don't want this in here. Get rid of this. There, much better. Okay, looking pretty now. Do I have any other errors in here? Let's do a file save. And let's see if we do have an error. And run it. No, it's coming out right. Low value is 198, so that's working just fine. Let's go ahead and put the other piece in for a high value. We simply jump up to here, and we go find and display high value. Passing it DBL cash sales and int record count. Find and display high value. And again, we put in our private void find and display high value, setting it a double array called DBL array, and int count, and send it the braces, and off we go. Now, just to save some time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all this, do a Control-C, pop it in here, and make some changes. Make this high value. Again, high value is going to be equal to DBL array 0. That's for, change this to a high over here. Make sure our comments are going to reflect what they need to reflect. Int record count's fine. DBL array is greater than. That's what we want to use a high value again, and we use the greater than sign. Then DBL high value is going to be whatever that array is, and we can say highest value is equal to DBL high value to string, and that should be all we need to do. So we can basically, we got a little bit of an error here. Find and display high value. Find and display high value. What's our issue here? Everything looks the same here. Let me run. Let me just do a save here real quickly. Do a run. Let it air out and tell us what it is. We have bailed there, so we have a problem. What's our problem? Find and display value does not exist in the current context. Line 36. That's just telling us this. It does not exist in the current context. Why doesn't it exist in the current context? Find and right here. Can't spell display. Fix that up, and we're good to go. Do another file save. Usually, when you have errors, it's the simple stuff. You just need to find them and make it all work. Do a run. And there's our lowest value and our highest value, just as we predicted looking at our analysis before. We did all this thing. All of our array values are sitting here, and everything's just fine. So it's very simple to find a low value and a high value of an array, and it takes you through that process. Great. Being able to find high and low values in an array is nothing more than learning how to compare two values. This technique is used repeatedly when we try to sort values in an array, and we're going to do that next. This will give us tools to perform quick searches in arrays, something much faster and more efficient than the sequential search, which we did a few videos ago. Well, more on that next time, Harvard. For now, I'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to use the website for easy access to all my videos. If you get a chance, please subscribe. That way you will be notified when something new is available. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.